There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Imagineers Disney podcast. I am your host, Matt, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Susie. Hello, Susie.
On a Monday.
On a Monday.
We just like surprising people 2 weeks in a row. We're like, hey.
Well, our good friend Michael is watching on YouTube, and he knows me too well already. He says, okay, now I know it's on a Monday because it's travel day for the World Series. Why, yes. Yes, it is. Today is a travel day for my Atlanta Braves. They're heading to Houston.
Oh my gosh, why couldn't you guys have shut it down last night?
I don't want to talk about it.
I was so sad for you.
I don't
Like
wanna talk about it.
I enjoy a good baseball game. I'm pulling for the Braves, but I normally don't really have a dog in the fight. I just like watching.
When they hit a grand slam in the first inning, I'm like, it's over. It's over.
In baseball, it goes either way. Yeah.
And then it wasn't over.
No. I'm
The
sorry.
nightmare was just beginning, actually. So hopefully they can close it out here in the next game or two. So
We'll see.
if we go, if we are 3-1, if we go from 3-1 to losing the series, I will be very, very upset. Anyway, so that's almost all of the baseball talk for this week because there is more. But stick around to find out what I mean by that at the end of the show. But
I can't wait to find out what you mean by that at the end of the show.
Yes,
I'm looking at my notes for tonight and I'm like, baseball?
Yeah.
All right, we'll figure it out together, folks.
So there's not a whole lot of news this week. I mean, other than people jumping out of the queue in Small World to grab their phones. Don't do that.
It's better than jumping out of Living with the Land to grab a cucumber.
Yeah. We have some comments coming in. So hello, everyone who is watching with us live, but especially to our good friend Spencer, who's watching on YouTube. Says, put Kenny Ortega on the mound, and he strikes out the side 9 innings straight.
See, Spencer, you should have made a High School Musical 2 reference with the I Don't Dance sequence when they're out on the baseball field. No, Matt, you wouldn't know. You haven't seen the cultural reset that was the High School Musical.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why I've held off on watching High School Musical is because as soon as we hit and Sarah Hayes says, let's go Braves. That's right. The reason why I've held off on watching High School Musical is because once we hit 50 patrons, I am going to live tweet, react to all 3 of the High
Guys,
School
please
Musical.
sign up. We're actually pretty close. We're moving our way. So for as little as $2 a month, you can contribute to the greatest potential. I love that our first like threshold of one of us doing something is this one, because I actually think this is a pretty big reward for our patrons.
But not quite as big as Susie going on Tower of Terror.
Yeah, that's when we reach 500 and
100.
No, it is not 100. You can't log into the account and change it. I know the password too. Stop pretending like you have autonomy. This is a partnership.
This is. I'm trying to think of something clever to say and I can't.
No, you can't. Because I won't be your good friend and co-host much longer if you keep doing that.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, I changed it once and she didn't appreciate that. So
I was there when it was written. Okay. I know what it's supposed to be.
It's like the Magna Carta. Like the Anyway, we're quickly getting off the rails.
I know, but I have to say I do enjoy, because Disney this year has just been so chaotic. I enjoy when we don't have news. I kind of enjoy when we're not having to go
something bad doesn't happen.
Okay, but and then list all the good things, or like how we can help as your travel agent. So it's nice to just kind of, no news is good news.
This is true. It's true. So, well, that being said, let's just jump into our conversation for this evening, and that is going to be the biggest mistakes of first-time Disney World guests. So, we cater this podcast for the Disney lover for the most part, I think. For the seasoned, mostly seasoned, you've been to Disney World a few times, but we really are gauging this for people who you've never been before. But for those of you who have been to Disney World, don't tune out, because maybe
you
still make some of these mistakes. At least mistakes in our opinion. So
yeah. Well, it's our show, so
this is true.
We can call them
So
mistakes.
Susie, as always, ladies first. What is one of your big mistakes that you see first time Disney World guests make?
Now, there are some on my list that are more of a cardinal sin than others, but I don't really have them in too much of an order. So I'm gonna go ahead and say something because we are both lifetime. Well, I mean, we're Florida people, born and raised. I cringe when I see this because it doesn't bother me, but I know it bothers other people. Rain. Florida, it rains a lot. And when you don't pack in anticipation for really any kind of weather in Florida, I think that is a huge mistake. Central Florida, more so than up here in North Florida, where we're at, is just, there's about 8 months during the year where there's a really high chance you're just going to get a thunderstorm in the afternoon. That's just how it goes. So packing for rain. Don't buy the like $2 trashy ponchos. Those are disgusting. They stick to you. It's worth, before going to Disney, investing in like a $5 or $10 reusable poncho. Don't buy a Disney poncho.
Or a very nice rain jacket
Raincoat.
that will last you forever and ever and ever. At least until you drop pizza on it, and then the grease stain stays in it. Not speaking.
This is very specific. I'm sorry.
I'm very sad.
Do you need a new raincoat for Christmas?
Yes, I do, actually.
Okay, should we put your Venmo up on the take up a love offering?
Yes, my beloved Walt Disney World rain jacket has seen its last days. And
I love mine. I have one from Disney.
It is a rain jacket that I've had for years and years and years. It got me through some difficult times. Like the day I did the
Parkeology.
Oh, yep. Wow. So it'll be a sad day. I haven't done anything with it. It's still in my closet, but I can't wear it out because it's stained.
Well, everybody else, it's worth investing in a poncho because you just never know. And don't let rain deter you from having a good day. There's still plenty you can do. Don't go running and hiding.
Yeah, so that was going to be one of mine as well, is pack for rain because Florida. Good point.
And we really could have just left it there. Florida.
Right. That's it. So if you have like recommendations for people as well, leave them in the comments. We are getting some comments. Sarah Hayes says, fast passing shows like Beauty and the Beast or Voyage of the Little Mermaid is a huge mistake in my opinion. That is an excellent point,
That's a
Sarah.
very good point.
And I know for a fact that Genie is pushing people to these shows.
Like there's a lightning lane for the shows now?
I don't know. I'm not sure if Lightning Lane is doing it, but I know that Genie, like the free service part of Genie service,
you can get into a show at any time.
Yeah. So I know for Hollywood Studios, they are pushing you to like Beauty and the Beast or Disney Junior or the Lightning McQueen show.
Frozen.
Yeah, basically they're trying to get people out of line. So,
well, to be fair, I do like the idea of Hollywood Studios being that more show kind of thing. But however, that modified Beauty and the Beast is so awkward. Have you seen video of it? Because it won't let it's weird. It's very obvious. I think they integrated it into the Frozen show really well, but Beauty and the Beast is so stiff.
Yeah. Michael says, I always bring a poncho, but often forget extra socks for when the pair I'm wearing gets soaked. This is also a really great point. Thank you, Michael. it's going to rain probably at some point in your trip, especially in the summer. And let's just say that the drainage in Magic Kingdom in some areas, Tomorrowland, is not very great. You are going to be walking through standing water
in front of Small World, where it kind of dips down too. That's a really bad place where it just like sits.
So bring extra socks as well. Good point. Samantha says, I came in late. Did anyone talk about chafing? No, but absolutely bring that Gold Bond. Gold Bond medicated powder. And Swansea says, today's not Tuesday. Yes, my friend. Tomorrow is the World Series.
We got to keep you all on your toes.
Also, I'm going to be on a yacht tomorrow night, so wanted to.
Okay, stop sounding like you're so bougie. I mean, it is kind of bougie.
With Thurston Howell III and
for a 3-hour tour.
So we're going to be docked and not moving. So just having some hors d'oeuvres with one of our vendors, Sandals. So yeah, we book more than Disney. We can do Sandals too. So we'll be talking with our representatives from Sandals on everything new at the Sandals Resorts coming your way. They have a new resort coming out. So anyway, shameless plug for our other travel services outside of Disney. Okay.
I'm not ashamed.
All right.
You want to go?
Yes, my turn. So I am going to say I'm gonna figure out the order. Okay, I'm gonna do it in this order. Buying the wrong merchandise. And this is kind of like a two-pronged reason.
Okay.
You buying the wrong merchandise because you're not going to be able to take it back home easily. Or merchandise that is like it's so quick. Like I think balloons are like one of the
it's such a waste.
I'm not saying that a balloon is a waste for everyone.
I mean, maybe your first time for your kid, like
right. But what are you gonna do with that?
Cry when they drop it, or let go and it floats away. I'll say this about merchandise: you can have it shipped, and I don't feel like the cast members mention that at checkout as often as they used to. They used to always be like, "Do you want this shipped back to your resort, or do you
have
like?"
I've stopped doing that.
No, I shipped something actually to another travel agent to their house earlier this year.
But have they brought back delivery to the resorts? I can't remember.
Oh, to the resort? I don't know. Gosh.
So yeah, keep that in mind too, because we need to double check that. But at one
point, you can ship it to your house. That is still a thing.
You can ship it to your house, but having it delivered back to the resorts, I don't know if they've brought it back yet. So you're going to be stuck with your stuff. But I think you can still hold it in the old bag check area.
I think so too.
We will update you on this next week because we're going to find this out. This is important information.
But you do bring up a good point, because if it's not, or if you don't know, you're going to be lugging something around all day. And that's inconvenient.
Swansea says, we buy merch later in the trip. You will change your mind many times. This is true.
Yeah.
You may see something on that first day. They're like, ooh, I got to have that. Hold off, because there might be something else that you want more in another park or at another time. So
I'm just realizing the green of my sweater is like not translating well on camera, and I look like a fisherman.
So my point is, don't make poor merchandise decisions
or sweater decisions.
Well, it is fall, so
I know, but I look like I'm a fisherman. All right. Merchandise. That was smart. I did not think about merch. All right, here's one. We talk about this a lot on our show. Not taking a rest day.
You stole one of my big ones.
We have a client that we booked, a listener, hi Phil, who will be traveling next year, and they are staying for about a week. but they are only doing 4 park days. So they're taking time for, obviously like arrival and leaving, but then also a day to do other stuff or Disney Springs or just chill at the pool or, it'll be close enough to Christmas time. The Christmas lights will be up so that you can go to the different resorts and look at Christmas decorations. There's lake activities you can do. There's so many things besides going into a park that if you're staying for any amount of time, you really need that break or you're going to wear yourself out.
Right. I had a client one time, they were staying for 8 days, 8 nights, and they wanted 7 park days. I went, and like they had like little kids. I'm like, no. Wait. So, yeah, it is, and I think it's vital. It's of utmost importance to be able to pace yourself. You are going to be, I'm not saying again, this is not the case for everybody. Some people can like marathon like 6 days straight, sure. But if you're talking about bringing kids that are like toddlers, 5 or 6, that is a long time without a break.
Yeah.
So I make it a point to recommend at least one break day, probably starting with a 4-day ticket. Yeah. Like doing like 2 days, break day, 2 more days.
I think that's great advice.
Enjoy your resort. Enjoy your resort. Enjoy the resort pool. Take a Disney Springs day. Just do something that doesn't require you to spend all day in a park.
Yeah.
So, good point. Good point, Susie.
Well, you too. It was on your list. We know what we're doing.
So my next one is kind of tied with the merchandise. If you were coming from out of town, bring an extra suitcase. Because you were going to be leaving with most likely with more things than you originally came with.
Oh, 100%.
So just keep that in mind if you were flying into Orlando, or, maybe if you're driving to, I don't know how much space is in your vehicle, but especially for the people who are flying into Orlando for their Disney World trip, bring an empty suitcase with you so you have plenty of room to take your merchandise that you purchase back.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I need to do that. We normally just like throw the bags in the car. And then it's Tetris getting everything else in.
Yep. Sarah says first timers should definitely try the Beverly.
Without a doubt. If you don't try the Beverly at Epcot, you haven't been initiated.
Yeah. Steve is watching and he commented, Universal is not a Disney park and no Harry Potter is not in Disney. So hopefully you figured this out before your trip.
Oh, this is what drives me crazy. I'll go ahead. This is not on my list, but that reminds me, people who, and I've heard this from cast members and I've heard people ask this, they'll be like, they'll be in Epcot or Hollywood Studios or anywhere but Magic Kingdom and say, how do we get to Disney World? You're at Disney World, but they're talking about Magic Kingdom. So like, they just don't understand. Like, it's funny. I mean, the cast member kind of knows what they're talking about, but it's always like, okay, so actually you're there. This is blah, blah, blah. I think that one's really funny to me.
Swansea brings up another good tip for his people. For his family. They come from New Hampshire and they pre-order food, water, beer, etc. Cheaper, and you have snacks for the resorts. So yeah, this is I think that's a good point. Kind of keep a stash of snacks and stuff in your resort room. You can absolutely bring those because not only can you keep them in your room, you can actually put them in like a backpack and bring them into the parks. So as long as it's you can't take beer into the park, but or any alcohol.
But
bottles of water, granola bars, fruits,
sandwiches. I've seen people straight up bring an entire pub sub spread and have a literal picnic in the hub in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, so I think that's a good call. Don't limit yourself on, what you can bring inside the park. If you're looking to save money, you can absolutely bring items in to keep the cost down.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah says, I bring breakfast items and snacks for the park. Yep.
I bring breakfast too. Breakfast is not a meal that I love breakfast, but I don't want to pay for 3 meals out. So normally I don't eat breakfast anywhere else, but.
Yep. Good call. Good call.
Speaking of breakfast and early mornings, my next tip or my next thing that first timers get wrong is they sleep in. You should not sleep in at Disney World. I'm sorry. You are going to have a fun, great trip. You are likely not going to have the most relaxing trip. The mornings, especially if you're staying on property, and especially now with Genie Plus and everything being whatever, you're still going to have the most productive time in the morning.
Yeah, I agree. With the extra half hour now that resort guests get at all theme parks, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, you get 30 minutes extra if you are a resort guest. So take advantage of that because that can really save you some time. And, and again, especially in the summer, because it's Florida, it's hot. The hours between like 1 and 5 o'clock are brutal.
Yeah.
So if you are a first time guest, and again, if you're coming with kids, kind of go in the morning, take advantage of that 30 minutes, do the early stuff. And then if you need to take a break, take a break. And I think you can take breaks inside the park, find some shaded areas, but don't count out going back to your resort and just kind of change of clothes, hot and sweaty.
30-minute power nap.
Yeah. So because you can always go back to the park that you are at for that day, or if you have park hoppers, any park you want. So kind of space out your day.
Yeah, and they're adding hours back to the park in the evening. I know Epcot's been pretty much the only one open past like 9 o'clock now. But I just saw they were expanding. I think it's Hollywood Studios was getting more time. So, but either way, the other thing is in the night where it's cooler, it's also, you can get a lot more done. But between
especially
those two, yes, especially at Magic Kingdom. So yeah, you really. If you're going to maximize your day, it's going to be done in the morning, not at 2 in the afternoon when you are miserable. So don't sleep in.
Yep.
No sleep.
Till Brooklyn. Did you get that reference?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I'm just asking.
I'm cultured.
Okay.
Look at my porg mug. Look how cultured I am.
My next recommendation is, well, trying to think. You stole some of mine. How many more do you have?
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
Like 6.
So, wow. Look at you.
I know. It's like I'm a travel agent.
Well, that'll be my last one, actually. We'll get there. My next one, and I think this is probably one of my really, really big ones, because I really only have a couple more. So I think that it is important to manage expectations.
That was on my list. Yeah.
So Disney World is a very big place with lots to do. It is going to be impossible for you to do everything in one trip, unless you're like superhuman. But don't freak out. Just be there in the moment with your family and your friends and the people that you love. And my biggest recommendation is just to take it easy and enjoy what you can in the time that you are allotted. And just really pace it out and go at your own comfortable pace. Don't wear yourself out. Don't get angry. We say sometimes I myself can get very frustrated with others around me whether it's people that I know or people that I don't know.
Yeah.
And, it can be so easy to let something kind of like ruin your day there for a little bit. So just, go with the flow. Stuff's going to happen. It's going to be okay. And I think that's one of the great things about the cast members at Disney World is they are so good about rectifying bad situations.
Right. Like actual bad situations, not just things that are the nature of Disney, because there's so many people there. Do you know what I mean? Like, and not just don't be a person who is just complaining to see what they can get.
Yeah.
Like, don't
And
do
let
that.
me put a caveat here. I don't go to guest services and complain. Like that's just not something that I do, because there would have been multiple times on October 1st that I could have legitimately gone and be like, guys, what is going on? But
Yeah.
sometimes it's things will resolve themselves.
Right.
And it's okay.
Yeah, so I had 2 things, and I think you covered both of them because it's 2 different, they sound opposite, but they make sense together. I had, um, don't overthink and don't be reactionary. And I think both of those are just the kind of like, have realistic expectations, go with the flow, understand that Disney's not out to get you. They're not out to have you have a bad time. Yes, Mia makes a great point.
Mia made a great point. The best magic comes naturally.
Right.
And said it better.
And I think if you kind of set out, like, what do you want to accomplish with this trip? Is this a trip for attractions? Is this a trip for family to do stuff together? Kind of think of like a theme, and then you're not going to be as upset if you can't hit every single whatever. If your goal is to ride something you didn't do last time, then focus on it. Like when we went for the 50th, we were like, we're only going to do opening day attractions. And a lot of things went wrong that day and we didn't get to do as much as we wanted, but we were there. And that's really the most important thing, is we were there for a very important day with some of our closest friends, Matt with his wife, and we were all just having a good time, and you just have to focus on that.
Yeah. Good deal.
No.
What was your next one?
I think it's a mistake to not be familiar with the My Disney Experience app. And this is increasingly becoming a tool you need to be fluent in. Whether it's
almost a necessity now.
Well, I think it really is, because they're not mailing magic bands anymore. So you're using your phone for, essentially like your resort. You can use it for your tickets. If you have an iPhone, you can have them in your wallet. You're using My Disney Experience for the free Genie option, Genie Plus if you want it. You're watching wait times. You can mobile order.
Mobile order is the big one.
Mobile order is a big one. And even when, if where you want to eat is open for ordering at the like station, it's still quick mobile order for quick service. It just saves you so much time, and you can really plan out your day better than standing in line waiting for food. You can order it and then they'll tell you when it's ready. So the app is, I hate everyone just like looking down at their phone, but really it can save you a lot of time. But don't become so obsessed with it that you're like, well, the phone didn't say to do that, or the app said this. Like
I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I hate being tethered, just having micromanaging every single part of my day.
Yeah.
It's a little frustrating for me, but that's just the way that I think things are, at least for the foreseeable future. I will miss the days where I can just be like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to go get a hot dog at Casey's right now.
I know. I do too. I miss the days where you could just walk up to a park and go in and didn't need a reservation, but here we are.
Here we are.
So, yeah, it sounds like we're calling it a necessary evil, and it can be if, like we were saying, you take it too far and you take it as gospel, but it really is a good resource that has all of your information in one place. So if you forget something, or you go to sign in, you're like, no, I have it on the app. It's just a nice reference.
We have several comments that are really, really great, so I'm going to put these up. Swansea says, put a note on the inside of the hotel door what everyone needs to bring that day. Magic bands, etc. Yeah, sunscreen, water bottles, ponchos, just medication. If you take medication, don't forget that.
Or Tylenol, because sometimes you just don't know what the day's going to be like.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. And Mia says, kind of responding to Swansea's comment, as a very forgetful person, I like to keep a list of essentials that I read right before I leave the room. Yeah, I've never done that before, but I think I may start doing that. Like, what do I need today to get me through today?
And especially if you're traveling with multiple people who have different needs, or kids who have different things that they need. Yeah, keeping the whole family straight. That's a good one.
And Steve adds a good item for that list, of course.
Oh my gosh, yes, a phone charger, portable charger, yes.
Especially now with the necessity pretty much to have the My Disney Experience app and the Genie. If you're using Genie, we had a friend of ours who just went down to the park and her phone was dead by 3 p.m. So bring those portable chargers because you are going to need them.
Most definitely.
Yep. That was actually going to be my next one, was actually
the phone charger.
Yeah, the phone chargers, because people just don't know. Like, okay, yeah, my phone's going to last me all day. It lasts me all day at work.
Yeah.
This is a little different because you're using the app to check wait times and now getting your lightning lane reservations.
And let's be honest, you're scrolling through whatever or playing a game while you're standing in line.
Yeah. But we'll tag on to this. Mistakes that people do is not unplugging as much as they should.
Yeah.
If you are there on vacation, unplug when you can. I'm not saying that there isn't time for emergencies. I feel like it happens all the time. I'll have a quiet day before I go to the park, and then as soon as I step foot inside Magic Kingdom, I'll get an emergency email to take care of a travel emergency by one of my clients, which is perfectly fine. That's what I'm there for. But don't scroll just for the sake of scrolling. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does. Especially the new queues. They've been adding so many details and cool little games, and you can play with your kids, like things in the queue, or just so many details to look at. And honestly, with the last year when we haven't had fast passes and everyone's had to stand in line, it's not that bad. Like 30 minutes goes by like, I'm a really bad snapper. That was embarrassing. It goes by like really fast if you're, talking with your friends and you're just having a good time, and you don't need to be scrolling along.
Yeah. So it's a good point. What do you have next on your list?
Not giving enough time for transportation. Disney says a half hour, but that's not true. You have no idea, and they have no idea. I think the average is 30 minutes for like leaving your hotel or leaving your room, waiting for a bus, getting on the bus, getting to the park. I've waited, the whole process realistically is like an hour.
Right.
It's not that quick. So either Uber if you don't want to pay for it, or if you drove your vehicle and you're staying on property, you can go and park at the park. So that's another option to take more control of your day and not have to waste it waiting for the bus. Disney transportation is the most reliable of the options in terms of like, staying at a one of the other resorts in the area. They have trams. Ugh. Those shuttles are super slow, but give yourself way more time than Disney suggests just to be safe.
Yeah. Kind of tied to that, my recommendation, mistakes that first time people do is if you're coming from out of town and you are not staying at a Disney resort, but you're staying at like a good neighbor hotel, and you Uber from the airport to your hotel, that can work. But I also want to kind of point out thinking about a rental car, because when you're at the hotel without a vehicle, yes, you can, I would say, either Uber or do a rental car. Don't rely on those hotel shuttles, because that is going to shoehorn you into a very specific drop off and pickup time.
Yeah.
And each hotel is different.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. Maybe budget for that.
It's totally worth it. It's totally worth to have control of your arrival times and departure times from your resort. Yeah.
Got another comment. Samantha says, completely side note, any update on Genie coming out in Disneyland going in December? So they did say the fall. Genie is supposed to release in the fall, but of course the fall goes until December 20th.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? I think they're seeing how Disney World's doing so far. It's been interesting. It's been a interesting release, but I mean, that's kind of par for the course for
anything new anywhere. Yeah. Not even just Disney. You just never know with technology.
So many variables, but I think they're getting some kinks worked out before they release it in Disneyland. But they did announce that it was supposed to be for this fall. So hopefully for your December trip, you will have that ability to use it.
You got more on your list?
Just one. So why don't you?
All right. Before we get to our big one, which Matt spoiled earlier, I would say, especially if it is your first time, but in general, I think this is a mistake, but definitely for first time, not staying on property. You may think you're saving money. We just talked about the vehicles situation, and I know like free transportation is a huge benefit of staying on property. Give yourself time for it. But realistically, the money you think you're saving with staying off property and having to pay for the rental car, pay for the rental car, the parking fee at your hotel, because essentially that every hotel in Orlando has that. But you're also just missing out on that like holistic Disney experience. And I think that's a detriment, especially for your first time. Like you don't feel like you're at Disney until you get to the park. There's not like that anything like building up the excitement of checking into a Disney resort. And hearing the music, seeing the stuff, like it really sets the mood, sets the tone for the whole trip.
Yeah, good point. Steve is watching and he leaves a comment. What about park hopping for first timers? Keep it simple and just do one park a day, or park hop. So I always base this on their length of stay.
Mm-hmm.
If you are staying 3 days or less, I recommend park hopping, because I don't think you would be getting the full experience. You're missing at least one park if you're doing a base ticket. And then if you are doing 4 or more days, I do one park a day. So that way, 1, it saves you money.
Mm-hmm.
2, you can get the most out of each park, especially if you're doing like the 4-day, devote Magic Kingdom Day, Epcot Day, Animal Kingdom Day, Hollywood Studios Day. And personally, I hear this a lot. They're like, "Oh, Epcot's a half-day park, or Animal Kingdom's a half-day park." I don't necessarily think that's true. I think that there's enough in each park to really get a full day's worth out of. I think Animal Kingdom kind of gets a bad rap. I would,
I love Animal Kingdom.
If the lines were short, I would ride some of those attractions multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I love the safari. I mean, we've talked about the safari all the time. That's something I would do twice, because it's most likely going to be a different experience each time, depending on the time of day, especially.
See, I agree with you, but I also just know, and this is being spoiled from being a pass holder, but I like just the possibility of something. You know what I mean? Like you've had a full day, but then you're like, hey, Epcot's open for, you're done at Animal Kingdom. Maybe it's 7 o'clock and you don't have kids and you're like, I want to go get dinner at Epcot and hang out for a few more hours and just, like keep it going. Yes, not park hopping saves money, but it's really only like, I think it's like $40 more for like a 4-day ticket, or it's not a ton. I just quoted some with and without. It's not a massive difference. So we're about to give our number one option. And when you do our number one option for your first time, ask to see it with and without, because you never know. It's not like a park hopper is twice as much because you could go to 2 parks. It's not too much of a difference, but you want to save time when looking for those numbers. So
for sure.
Maybe Matt can introduce our number one again.
So before we do that, we have one more suggestion by Mr. Swansea. Man, you're making some good recommendations. Pick preferred rooms. It's worth being closer to the lobby or buses. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Some of these resorts are really, 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 really spread out. The all stars are big. I mean, I think All Star Music has like 1,600 rooms.
Oh yeah.
All Star Movies has like 1,900 rooms, and I think Pop Century is the biggest value of all, with like 2,500. Like it's insane. Like there are literally thousands of rooms at these places, and the preferred rooms are going to put you at a better position for dining, transportation, and you're not going to have to make that walk back to your room every single day. So yes, good point. And it's very minimal typically in the difference in price.
It's like $15 a night, maybe 10.
Yeah, it just depends on the resort and the date. So
oh yeah, value. It's definitely more of a value to do
for sure. Good deal. Well, that leads us to our number one thing, and that is the biggest mistake that first-time Disney World guests make is not using a travel agent.
I was going to say something silly.
What?
Never mind. Go ahead. No. I don't want to ruin the moment. This is serious stuff.
So Susie and I are travel agents, and I think there is something to be said that not just using a travel agent, but using a travel agent that Disney World is like their bread and butter. Like they've grown up at this place, which we basically have.
Yeah.
One of the beauties, it's like a blessing and a curse of Disney World. There is literally something for everyone, but there is also a lot of options, and it can almost be overwhelming.
Yeah.
For first timers to say, oh, well, what is Genie Plus? What is this mobile order? What is preferred room? Like Savannah View rooms? Like you can see animals? What does that mean? There are just so many variables when it comes to picking a Disney World package that, again, it's a good thing. It can be customizable, but it helps to have a little bit of direction in which way to go. And I think the benefit of using someone like Susie or myself, use us, please. Don't use anyone else. Is we know the product so well that we'll be able to customize the package based on your preferences.
Right.
So if your kids hate certain characters, if you hate, I don't know, Winnie the
Mickey?
Pooh.
Like this is very aggressive.
Like if they're like scared of Tigger.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I understand, like the actual like costume. They don't just have like this deep-seated hatred for Tigger.
I'm not going to send you to the Crystal Palace to eat eat a meal. So I'm going to send you to a place that, I like Mickey and Minnie. I'm sending you to Topolino's Terrace if I can. So, I think just utilize the resources that you have available to you. And not only are they available to you, they're available to you for free. That's what a lot of people don't quite understand. If you do not use a travel agent, you are actually still paying for what we would get on commission. Like, it's already in your package price. So instead of the money going to Disney World, it comes back to the small businesses that you choose to work with in the form of travel agents.
Right.
So you're really helping out small businesses, and we in turn really try to do our best to take care of you. I was telling someone the other day, I try to treat my clients like I would members of my own family. When I go to Disney World and I go with my family, and I took my mom and dad for the first time in a long time in May, I did everything in my power to make sure that they were taken care of, whether it was a scooter rental or whatever. I want that same experience for you and your family members. And we are, I think I speak for both of us, say that we are here to help you with anything that you need.
Yeah. And there's also just the little things that we have up our sleeves that maybe we don't share on the show or we've mentioned on the show. Because it is overwhelming going to Disney, we'll always have like an email with all of your information, sending you tips. If you have a problem while you're on your trip, contact us, and we can help sort that out, especially even if you're not at Disney, right? We have contacts and direct lines to many of these client or vendors so that we can work on your behalf to resolve that problem. That's invaluable. So you're not just traveling blind. You have someone who is at your at your fingertips that you can reach at any point to help with whatever your problem is. If there's something wrong with your room, or there's a confusion with your ticket, or just anything like that, like, we are here until you return. And then hopefully after you return to plan your next trip, it's not just a book and we forget about you. Like, we're constantly working on your behalf. If a better deal comes out, if better priced rooms are available, if a new package rates come out, like, we are going to do whatever we can to save you guys money and obviously save you time as well, because we're the ones on hold.
Yeah. So we're here for you no matter what you need to do, whether it's Disney or not. So again, we talked about the whole sandals thing that I'm doing tomorrow. If you're looking to vacation anywhere, we can help you. So getting a few more comments in here, and then we'll kind of close it out from that. But let's see here. Mia says, all I'm saying is, if you can, stay at a Skyline hotel. I think she said
Skyliners.
Skyliner hotel.
Yeah.
Yep. And asked to be located near the terminal. It's legit the best transportation for me, at least.
I agree, because you're not waiting on a bus. It's a constant.
Right.
You're constantly moving.
So Pop Century, Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, Riviera, all of those are going to be, and even the Epcot resort. So Beach Club is going to be the closest one to the actual Skyliner station by a few steps from Yacht Club.
Yacht Club.
So
yeah, still not far.
I was just over at Yacht Club a few months ago, and it was a very quick walk over to the Skyliner. So yeah, that's a good point. Oh, let's see. Jordan agreed about having someone there with you that knows what they're doing. You at least need someone traveling with you that knows all about the parks and plans your days very far in advance. So yeah, and that's another point. So it used to be 180 days for dining and 60 days for fast passes. That is not the case anymore. Currently, it's 60 days for dining, and then Genie plus Lightning Lane selections are day of now. So back
and
to
park
the
and then park reservations once you've got your
yes
your tickets. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Blondie says Olaf terrifies me. It's a reminder of New Hampshire in winter at Disney.
So that we're not going to suggest you go and do the sing along.
Nope,
Hollywood Studios.
Nope.
Although it is really good. It's really funny.
Okay, we have another comment. I'm trying not to butcher this name. Trina? Trina? I'm sorry. She says,
I was busy reading.
What about DVC with a travel agent? My family bought into it right before COVID, bought into it and haven't been able to go. So this is the one of the only things that we can't help you with. We cannot purchase annual pass tickets for you, and we cannot do reservations for DVC guests that are using points. We can book DVC resorts, but if you are trying to use your points for a reservation, that actually has to be done through DVC. So hopefully that answers that question.
But tickets.
If you need tickets and you're not a pass holder, yes, we can help you with that. But actually, I think the annual pass comes with DVC, or at least it used to at one point. I'm not a DVC member. I have several friends who are DVC members.
I do too.
You've bought into something great. So congratulations on your purchase. That is going to give you decades worth of really, really great memories with your family. So very happy to see you doing that. Steve says, if you want Matt and Susie, we'll come be your guides for the week. $. Wink.
I'm sure if you guys want to pay. Like, if you want to pay for our services,
we'll come say hey. I mean, we're pass holders, so we'll just come down. But for real though, like if whether you, I mean, we would prefer that you book with us, but if you have questions about anything, we appreciate all of the listeners and watchers of the podcast. Let us know what questions you have. We'll be happy to answer those for you. So good deal. Well, unhide that. There we go. All right. So I think we've gone through all of our lists, and we got to see the list from you guys tonight. I think this is for the first time Disney guest. I think this was a very good list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Good okay. What's this baseball thing?
Oh, the baseball thing. Okay. So
I was about to say, is your list like to? I'm thinking like, is he going to talk about Wide World of Sports? Like,
no. So for those of you who follow us on social media, and you totally should, by going searching for the Imagineers Disney Podcast, either on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Here are our handles for those. But also we have our Discord channel, and you can find our Discord channel link because it's a weird link and it doesn't help making a graphic with that because yeah. So the easiest way for you to find our Discord channel, where you can chat with us throughout the week on various Disney topics, but especially to watch our Friday night movie, you can find our link on our link tree, which you can find on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by going into our bios, and the Discord link is in that. So click on that and you will be brought to Discord, where you can join our group and start, just fun conversations throughout the week. But Friday nights, we have our Friday night movie. Every Friday night, almost every Friday night when we're not like out of town or something, we will sit down and right at 8:00, we will start the movie of the week on our own Disney Plus accounts. And this week, since baseball is in the air, we're going to watch one of the greatest baseball movies of all time that is available to watch on Disney Plus, and that is going to be The Sandlot.
Aw, I love The Sandlot.
Yes. So shout out recommendation from one of our patrons. So if you're a patron, you wield authority. You can make show suggestions. You can make movie night suggestions. So we will take those into account and I thought it was good timing. So
yeah, that's a good
first
idea.
off, we are watching The Sandlot this Friday night at 8:00. Come join us. It'll be fun. I love this movie. It's been a few years since I've watched it. Good times. When was the last time you've seen it, Susie?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, probably not since I bought my house.
Oh wow.
Because it used to come on it would come on ABC Family all the time, and I don't have cable now. So it's the kind of thing that I've seen it from beginning to end many times, but I've definitely have just turned it on when it's on, and so you just pick it up from random times in the movie. It's one of those for me, but yeah, well, that's great.
Yep, good times. Well, we will have that this Friday again. Just look for our Discord link if you haven't joined our channel. It's in our Linktree bio on our social media accounts. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, do so by going to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, your preferred podcast destination, and search for the Imagineers Disney Podcast and subscribe if you have enjoyed tonight's show. And you can check out our full backlog of episodes.
I was gonna say subscribe even if you didn't enjoy it.
This is episode, I think, 163. So
wow,
we've been
doing this a hot second.
I can't remember. So
and just internally, we have a big milestone that we're coming up on.
Yeah,
in the next few months, and when we reach it, we'll let you guys know. We'll have a little celebration.
Yay! So we appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the podcast. We look forward to coming at you next week with another episode. But until then, friends, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.